Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Tora Jordan Show. I'm your host, Tora Jordan. If you're new here, hey, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, hey, welcome back. Glad to see you. So this whole week has been a week of victories, of sharing victories. And I wanted to save this for the last one because it's very special to me. Um, it's not my story, but it's one that's very close to me. So, as you all know, Josh joined in my keto journey, or decided to go along and join keto in August of 2022. When he started, he was at 342 pounds. Okay. And it's, that he's 6'5". So, I mean, he's a big man, not just, not, he's tall. He's a very tall man. And, I've always loved my husband no matter what. And he had kind of come to the realization that I'm 342 pounds, he was wearing between a 42 and a 44 inch, waistline on jeans. And, he was like, he came to the realization that if I continue living like this, I'm going to end up a full-blown diabetic, because it runs in his family. Both his mom was a diabetic and his dad is a diabetic. And he's got aunts and uncles that are diabetic, and he's like, I'm not going that way. I'm going to fight hard to not be a diabetic. So anyway, he decided that he was going to do it after he had seen me, for 4 months going on my keto journey and having success and everything like this. And about Christmas time, he weighed in and he had hit like 50, I think it was 50 or 52 pounds at that point that he had lost. And I was like, way to go, babe, And he was so excited. And then right around Christmas, New Year's, he hit a big stall. And it wasn't like, he just stayed there. He would fluctuate between like losing 54 and going, he'd gain like 4 pounds, and he'd be like, well, I'm back down to the 50 mark. And then he'd weigh in and he'd be like, well, I lost 2 more pounds. And then he'd weigh in again and he'd gain those 2 pounds back. And he was so frustrated. And I kept telling him, baby, just trust the process. Just keep going. Okay. One of these days you're going to climb on that scale and it's just going to be like, what? Okay. So last Saturday on we're in May. On May 13th of 2023, Josh goes, okay, I'm going to do my weigh-in. I haven't weighed since March. I'm going to weigh in. I'm just going to do it. I hope that I can see a 280 something on that scale. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to pull it, I'm just going to do it and be done with it. He sat on the scale, or he climbed on the scale, and, he got up there and he was like, is that real? I'm like, yeah, babe, that's a real number. That's your real weight. He's down to 277 pounds. As of May 13th, Josh is down 65 pounds. I am so proud of my husband. I am over the moon for my husband. I mean, we were, I was giving him victory hugs and everything right there in public, and I didn't really care. And he's like, I got to share with somebody. So he puts it on his site, on his family chat, that he's lost 13 pounds since his mom died and everything like this. And he's like, nobody has seen it yet. And I'm like, it's okay. I'm here to celebrate with you, And he was just over the moon excited because his victory, that milestone victory, just came up and got him right there. He was hoping that, he had lost 2 pounds or 3 pounds or whatever. He was not expecting to completely jump over the 280s and land himself well into the 270s. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes we don't see the progress until, it happens. He's like, I don't, when did this happen? And it's like, it happened when you were not looking. And that's how sometimes it happens. When you're so focused on something and you're wanting it so bad. Sometimes when you just let go, it happens. And that's a victory. And sometimes just the struggle of letting it go and just deciding, you know what, I'm not going to focus on it. That's a victory. That you're just going to trust the process, keep the faith, keep going, keep on keeping on, and it happens for you. That's a victory. Not obsessing over it and not stressing over it and just being like, you know what, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. It's a victory. I am still over the moon for Josh and how it just happened for him. And it's just shocking. And I told him, I said, now you know how I felt in January or after Christmas. Now you know how I felt when I stepped on that scale and I was like, what? Because the number 285 came up on the scale and I was just like, what? I'm down 105 pounds? He's like, I get it now. I get it. I understand the shock and awe of it. Of when you're just like, okay, I'm just not going to focus on it right now. And it happens. And sometimes that's how it goes. And sometimes it's, it's a steady stream. Sometimes it's an ebb and flow. So, as we are wrapping up our victory week, just remember, this is a journey. This is not a marathon, or this is not a sprint. This isn't, a 100-meter dash or a 100-yard sprint. It's a marathon. It's a journey. It's a hike, okay? Sometimes there's uphills, sometimes there's downhills, and sometimes there's curves that take us every which way. But it's a journey, okay? It's a journey. And I am so thankful that I have somebody to be on this journey with me that I can celebrate with him. Because he's seen me drastically change over these past, right at 13 months. He's seen it happen. And he's been my encourager. He's been my encourager. He's in there going, babe, you look so amazing. Babe, I'm so happy for you. Babe, keep going. He was one of the big pushes to get me on YouTube. He's like, share your journey. Do it. Put it out there for everybody, because then you can go, oh, I have a video on that. Here, let me just show you that. Instead of having like a 4-hour conversation. Not that having a 4-hour conversation is inconvenient. Don't get me wrong, okay? But if somebody goes, well, what do you eat? Well, I have a YouTube channel that has a bunch of recipes on it. Or, how hard is this to do? Well, I have a YouTube channel that explains that, for me, what has been going on. Okay? And he was the big push for me. And it was a victory, for me to concede and be like, okay, fine. I'll sit down, I'll film, and I'll put it up on YouTube and just roll with it, I guess. But his victory last Saturday, it made me want to cry. Because I've been in those shoes where you're like, ugh. You're just hammering at it and it's just not budging. And my saw wasn't as big, as long as his. Where it was like, back and forth for just a few pounds. Mine wasn't like that. Mine's paused, but then I did an egg fast and jump started and got going. But he's like, I'm not doing an egg fast. So even though I was like, well, try it, and he wouldn't do it. But anyway, I knew that one day he would bust through. He would break through that wall, and it would happen. And it will happen for you. And it may take a little bit, but you will break those barriers to get your life back. You'll break through. It's going to happen. Keep the faith. Keep faith in yourself. Keep trusting the process, because it's going to happen. Okay? Things are going to change. Josh started out 42, 44 pants. He's in a size 40. He's in a size 40. He's lost 4 inches around his middle. He was in a 3X tall. He's in a 2X tall. And he's like, I don't feel comfortable in this. I'm like, babe, welcome to my world. Because he still thinks that it's snug. And it's like, no, it fits. It's getting a little looser. I don't think you're ready for an extra large yet. But it's coming. Okay? Things are going to change. Things are going to happen. Okay? And I want you all to know that you are beautiful or handsome. No matter how small you see your victory or how big you see your victory. You're beautiful or handsome. And I care for you, my little keto cuties. I do. I care for you guys so much. I want you guys to realize that I care for you guys because you're part of my journey. We're in this together. You're not alone. You're not. You're not alone when you feel like you're just can't break through. Josh felt that way. And I was like, baby, it's going to happen. One day it's going to happen. I'm glad I was there to see it. Because I got to see the shock and awe on his face when he broke through. Okay? And when you're having those moments of just up against that wall, be kind. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Okay? And I know this is going to sound cliche, but remember to have patience. Have patience with yourself, okay? Because it's going to happen. Sometimes it takes a little longer than others. Alrighty? And alright, one last thing, guys. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Actually, 2 last things. Number 1, I want you all to have a fabulous weekend coming up. Okay? Let your hair down. Shake it out. Enjoy the sunshine or the rain. Whichever weather you have. Okay? Have a fabulous weekend. Love ya!